Hey guys, it's Will. Welcome to the channel. I'm a part-time day trader trying to become a full-time. Today is August 21st on the Thursday, and it is week 3, I believe, on August. And we do have one more trading day tomorrow, so we will see if I take any more trades tomorrow. But I am going to break down the trade that I took this week. I only did take one trade. I was actually about to take a trade on Monday, but it was very choppy and there was no confirmation. And I did actually make a video on that if you guys want to check that out. I'll run down the past couple days to show you guys what happened in the market. So basically I had these zones in my charts right here, and what I look for every day on intraday basis, my strategy is the break and retest. So I have these zones out and I wait for the break, and then once it breaks, I wait for the retest. Once I see the confirmation I need, then I take the position. For this example, this will be a short. Multiple times on this day, which was Monday, August 18th, it kept breaking down, or it didn't break down, it touched the zone and then it went back up. Later on the day, it actually broke this time, but this was just too early, too aggressive. It breaks again and then it gets swelled back up. It happened again, and then I'm like, okay, this play is probably dead because it's not really respecting my level as much, and I'm not going to take a trade. So this was Monday, going to Tuesday now. This was actually the trade that I did take this week, and I did win in this trade. What I was looking for today is the same thing I look for every single day. I look for the break and retest, and that's exactly what happened. I waited for the break, retest, and I took the position. I'm going to zoom out now and show you guys the bigger time frames to show you guys how I got these levels and how I formed my thesis for today, which was Tuesday. Here's the 1 hour on the Nasdaq, and you can't really see the bigger picture because it's not zoomed out as much. We are simply just kind of going down in a downtrend, and we are pulling back into levels. If I do zoom out more, it'll be like a straight up move or like an uptrend, and then it slowly goes down, and then this is basically what is happening in the chart right now, and that it could be the next demand zone for a long right there. Doesn't mean I'm going to take the long. It's because I place levels on the chart and I want to see what happens. Wherever the candles go, wherever the market goes, then I wait for reactions on the levels and then I take the level. It'll be nice to take longs, but if I only see it in the chart, if it does do a break and retest of one of my levels, like above these levels or reclaims levels, then I'm interested in taking longs. First off, what I do every day is I chart the previous day's lows and the previous day's highs. So the green dashed lines right here is the previous day's highs, and then the previous day's lows is the red dashed lines. It doesn't mean that if it does break and retest, I'll take it for a short. Let's say it breaks down the previous day's lows, it doesn't mean I'm going to short it right away. If it breaks down this previous day's highs, it doesn't mean I'm going to short it right away. It really depends on the context of the market as well. Like this area right here, you can see that it also is holding on the previous days, like not the previous day, but the other previous day. And then it's doing the same thing, and also the pre-market low. But if there's certain demand levels underneath it and it's very close, then I wouldn't take the trade. So it has to be very clear. It has to show me that it's really respecting the level, and then I'll be able to, do my break and retest strategy on it. That was my game plan for today because it had the previous day's lows right there and also had the pre-market low right there. I have a small zone because I don't know where exactly it's going to retest. It's because it could retest the previous day's lows or it could retest the pre-market low. And then also this level right here was the exact area where it was also reacting as well. Then I go to the ES, which is right here. This is the ES 1 hour chart, and it has the same things. It has very similar things as well. It has the previous day's lows, the red dashed lines right there, and also it has a pre-market low right there. It's a bit different than the Nasdaq, so that's why I make sure I look at both of the charts when I'm trading and see how it reacts to the charts. What happens in the morning is that it just did a nice break right here, and it was slowly sliding up into the retest level that I wanted to. Once I started seeing wicks and once I started seeing the candle break down and reject, that's when I took my area. Even though it's not aligning with the ES, but I'm more interested in the Nasdaq because I'm trading the Nasdaq. If I traded the ES, it wouldn't make sense because it's not breaking anything. It's still holding a level. Although this level can just bring the Nasdaq up, I'm just more interested in shorting this because it is breaking my level and it's also retesting my level. Even though this is not aligning exactly with the ES, it's still rejecting, or it's still under the previous day's lows, and that means it's still not going to mean that the market is strong because the ES is basically in a range right now. Here's my executions. The green arrow is where I got in, and then the red arrow is where I exited. I did actually take 2 trades today. The only reason was because I did break even, and if I do break even, I can take another trade because technically I did not win or lose anything. It still worked. Like my stop loss was just above this area right here, which is the wick high, and if I stayed in the trade, I could have won in the trade. Like I didn't have to get out of my trade, and it still would have been fine. But after I started seeing that the ES was still building, I kind of got scared and I did sell out. I did get my 2-to-1. Basically, I got my 2-to-1 target right here, and once I get my 2-to-1 target, I move my stop to break even, and that's what I did. And although it wasn't exactly my 2-to-1, I just was a bit cautious on this area right here because I was a bit scared on the ES. And I'm not gonna lie, once you guys see the live trade, I did put my stop right at break even when the trade was going against me. Although I didn't get stopped out yet, but I was getting scared that I can just get stopped out. And my game plan was that I can just re-enter the trade if I lose. I don't really want to lose if I made so much money. And then I didn't make so much money, but I'm saying I was up a lot. I was doing, like, the trade was doing well. And then now it's like reversing on me. It's like a really hard feeling, very hard to like just deal with it. So moving my stop to break even, and I'd rather be break even than lose a trade. Although I didn't need to because it worked, but psychology plays a lot in trading, and it really, it eats into you once you just see that you're just gonna be in a negative once you're up a lot, or like I was up 2-1. I did get stopped out here and I did re-enter. Here's my re-enter. I started seeing the Nasdaq reject again, and then the ES rejected right at the previous day's highs. And then once it went down again, it's a bit too early still, so I can't take it off of this. It's just too quickly. And then once it falls back down, it retraces a bit exactly on the Nasdaq, and then I got in right there. And that was like the perfect entry, and I got my target. But it was supposed to be a 3-1, but again, I got scared again. I'm pretty close to this demand zone, so I should just like not be too greedy, and I don't want to like lose again or be break even, so that's why I sold out. And honestly, it's still a work in progress. I should have just held it to my actual TP and not just keep getting scared out. But it's still something I gotta work on, trying to hold my winners longer, and that's what I gotta do. Even though the first trade I wasn't actually break even, I did lose $11 because the stop was like being stupid. Sometimes you just like you get filled later on and then you just lose some money. That is normal though. I can't really blame that because sometimes there's volume, sometimes there's no volume. And although it's not technically a break even because I lost money, but I'm still calling that a break even though I did lose money, and that I'm able to still take a trade because it's a break even trade. I'm gonna play the live trade now, and then I'll break down Wednesday and Thursday. Here's Wednesday now. the market is still pretty weak. And then what I see, or what I marked out, was my previous day's lows again, which is the red dashed lines on both the market. And then I had the pre-market low. So my game plan for this day was, since we're already rejecting previous day's lows, we're still above the pre-market low, and I want to see that break. If I see that break and give me a proper retest, I can take it for a short. But as you see that, the market just went exactly straight down and I couldn't do anything about it. All I did was take no trades, just been patient, and I gotta wait for the next opportunity. I'm not just gonna chase the downside because I can just lose, and it's not my strategy if I just chase it. I need to wait for the retest. And it did actually happen during 2 p.m, but I'm not going to trade at 2 p.m. It's just like too late for me. And the market just slowly went back up to retest the level, and it finally did, but this is a bit too early still. I need to see more. And then this was basically the break that I needed, because it was a false break, and then it retested, it went back up, and this would have been my 3-to-1 right there. And it was also close to the Nasdaq level, but it's like 2 p.m, so I'm not going to take the trade. Currently this is Thursday, and I'm marking out the exact same things that what I always do: the pre-market high and also the previous day's highs. This aligns well, so this is pretty interesting, and I would like to see a break and retest for a long, so that it reclaims market, it reclaims key levels on the market, and I'll take it for long. And I also have my levels right here for the previous day's lows and a pre-market low, and if I would take it for a short if it did happen. And I have the same thing on the ES. But as you see, the market is in a chop, and it's just in the middle of a zone. So when it's in the middle zone, I don't do anything. It's just a boring day, and I just wait, and all I saw was nothing, so I just left and just went to the gym. Today's basically done, and we have one more trading day tomorrow. But I do want to show you guys how much I am up this week, or how much I made in the trade. But you guys already saw from my live trade, I did lose $11 on the break-even trade, and then I made $115, and I'm basically up just a bit over $100 this week. That's it for now. We'll see if we take more trades. And what I like to say is, how you do one thing is how you do everything. Keep staying disciplined, keep staying consistent, and let's just get 1% better every day. And I'll see you in the next one.